Hello everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I'm Christine Marks and today we are going to be talking about packing for a painting trip because I am packing for a painting trip and I'm really excited about it. I have a new, this doesn't even have any paint on it yet. This is my new Portland travel, let's see, bag. It's a backpack. It also goes on your suitcase, but you can also carry it like this. And then I ordered, it's not specifically for painting. I ordered it for painting. And then I ordered the thing that would generally hold like your makeup or your charging cords and stuff. And I think this is gonna be good to hold some of my paint supplies. So I'm really excited about that. But I am packing for a trip that I'm leaving for this Sunday morning early, and I'm flying out of Newark. Wish me luck because Newark is a mess right now. And I get to Reno Sunday night, and then Monday I'm taking a pre-workshop class with Joseph Zabuvic. I think that's how you say his last name. People usually call him Joseph Z. He is the most amazing watercolorist, one of the most. He's amazing. So I'm very, very excited. It's demonstration only for that. And so it will be watching him, and that's fine. I am gonna sit and absorb it and even try to like not have my phone out and just, sit and listen rather than, trying to capture it all in a video. So I'm excited about that. And then the next 3 days they have, it's Pace 2025, and I think it's Streamline Publishing that puts these on. In the past, I have done their watercolor live. They do different events online that are phenomenal, but these in-person events are a lot of fun. And what really drew me to it initially was it is in Lake Tahoe. Well, it's really in Reno. And I used to live right over the hill from Lake Tahoe. And so we would ski and go there. And I've been going there since third grade. I grew up in Northern California. And so I thought, oh, Lake Tahoe. So I signed up for it thinking, oh, Embassy Suites in Lake Tahoe, State Line, or Caesars. No, it's at the Golden Nugget, which used to be John Esquaga's Nugget. And that's fine. I haven't been there in years. But I do know my way around the area. It used to be sales territory when I worked with my dad. And so I'm very comfortable going there and getting myself around. But Reno is not Lake Tahoe. But we are going to Lake Tahoe on a couple of painting trips. Truckee for one, and a place that I've never been up near Incline Village to paint the Emerald Waters. It's not Emerald Cove, it's something else, but I'm really, really excited about that. So I will see areas of Lake Tahoe that I've never seen on the painting trips. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sorry, it's super humid here, so I'm having trouble catching my breath. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they have phenomenal teachers. There's Cindy Barron, there's Scott Christensen, there's just lists and lists of people. So I'm getting ready to pack, and the problem that I'm having with my packing is that I want to do watercolor, and I want to do oils, and I want to do gouache. And so I'm trying to go through this massive itinerary with 4 different stages. They have a pastel stage, a watercolor stage, an oil stage, and one more acrylic stage, and then one more that's like just an everything stage. So I think there are 5 stages. So I'm going through the itinerary and circling what I really like, what I have to see first, right? Then what I want to see. So this packing trip is going to be a little more difficult because I don't want to get there and then want to paint in gouache and not have gouache. I don't want to get there and want to, the pre-conference class that I'm taking with Joseph Zabuvic is watercolor. So I have to take my watercolors. And then the plein air, going to Truckee and going to Tahoe, I wanted to do those in oil. I'm not thrilled about painting outside in watercolor because I live on the East Coast now and summer is a rainy time, unlike the West Coast. So I feel better painting in oils, like I'm not going to completely lose what I'm doing. It just seems easier. And so I am packing 3 different mediums for this trip. So I'm thinking maybe I will pack just a limited palette for all of them. Warm red, warm yellow, cool yellow, warm blue, cool blue, white and black, and then maybe a couple signature colors that I really like, and really try to pare down what I'm taking. A good idea when you are plein air painting anyways is to take as little as possible. And most of the, Kathleen Dunphy is somebody that I follow online, love her paintings. She lives out on the West Coast. She has posted many, I'll try to link to her blog below. She has some wonderful just blog posts and also videos on painting with the limited palette and the colors that she uses and why to paint with the limited palette. She also has a few videos on painting in gouache when you're out. Gouache is easier, like traveling across the country is an issue. You cannot take solvent, nor would I, on an airplane, either checked or underneath, because it's, prone to explode or, catch fire. So, which are things I don't want to think about before I fly, because I'm already a little bit of a nervous flyer. So you don't take solvent. So I'm going to have to find that when I get there. Generally, when you are flying on a painting trip, one of the reasons I switched to watercolor, other than the health benefits, was it's easy to travel with. You're not taking any icky chemicals traveling. You don't generally get hassled when you're traveling. Oil paints are a little bit different. I generally print out, it's not a TSA, it's a safety sheet on the oil paints, stating that they are just pigments and that they don't have any items in them that are not allowed on travel. So it's a good idea when you do pack, if you're checking your bag or even if you're wheeling your bag, to have that information printed on the pigments that you're using, just so if you get pulled, which I have traveled with pastels before where I got pulled, pencils and little crayons, and the person said to me, the little pastels look like bullets, which I never thought of. Probably a lot of pencils in there, if they're short, could be looked at the same way. At any rate, they look funny when they're going through the conveyor belt, when you're going through security, and they probably also come up as suspect when they screen the bags going downstairs. So I actually used to work in the baggage department. I was a ramp worker for US Air when I lived in Charlotte for a couple of years, loading airplanes. So, but I didn't paint at that time, so I don't remember it being an issue then. But pre 9/11 is very different than post 9/11. So you just have to be prepared when you're traveling. So I'm going to go over my list of things that I'm taking. My easel is like number 1, because this is a plein air trip. We're going painting outside. I have a Strata easel, and then I have a big silver easel that I can't remember the name of. I am taking the Strata easel. It is, I went on a trip 15 years ago when I went to paint in Monterey, and it was so much fun. It was like the second year I started painting, so I was very brand new. I'm very excited to go now, 15 years later, because I know a lot more about painting. I think I'm going to get a lot more. I was so overwhelmed the first big conference that I went to, or, workshop event like this, that I'm feeling like I'm going to get a lot more out of this, because I know the terminology. You learn a lot painting over a decade and a half that I didn't know then. So I'm very excited to take this as a more experienced painter. But I am 58 now, and I am lugging all of this by myself. My husband's not going with me. He usually is such a gentleman, and he carries all of my stuff for me, and really, I love him to Pete. We've been married almost 40 years. He takes care of all the things. So in addition to me lugging all my stuff, all the things that he usually takes care of, like a rental car and all that, I will be running around doing that, which is great and fine and part of the whole fun of the trip. But the first thing you want to pack is an easel. and you want to make sure you get it out and test it out and open it and close it, because I went out to my studio yesterday to look at the two that I was going to choose between, and I opened and closed them, and it took me a hot minute to open both of them because it's been a while since I plein air painted. So get out your stuff and give it a test run before you go. You do not want to be struggling around with everybody else popping up their easels in like, toot sweet real quickly while you're still trying to figure out how to open it up, because they're all, a little bit complicated and have their things. Make sure you have all the parts to them. Make sure, you have all the legs and everything's working and opening and closing. So I did that yesterday. I'm making sure I have sketchbooks, because a lot of the teachers will do thumbnail sketches before that and items to sketch with. A scraper, always the scraper that you get at Home Depot to scrape paint with. It is, they're only like 2 inches long with a blade on the end. My scraper is dead out there, so I've got to go get some new blades for it, and possibly even a new scraper. The old paint on there is so old that I don't know if I can even get it off of there, and they're like $3 at Home Depot. So now I'm talking about for my oil painting. I am taking oils, I'm taking gouache, and I'm taking watercolor. So for the oil, that seems to be the most problematic to paint for. I am taking my oil paints, and again, I'm probably taking a limited palette. I'm tempted, because there is a huge convention center full of all kinds of goodies out there. Paint manufacturers are going to be there, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm not going to take anything. I'm not going to take my paints, and I'll buy them out there. Bad move. If they don't have, what if they didn't bring their paints? What if the manufacturers I want to buy from don't have the color I want? I also don't want to go through the learning curve. There are a couple of brands that I'd like to try out in oil paint that I've never tried before. And they're going to be there, but I don't want to go through the learning curve of trying a new paint on top of trying new techniques that these teachers are teaching me, if that makes sense. I really only want a few challenges at once. And if you throw in a brand new paint brand there's one oil paint, I can't remember the name of it, but I have the list of vendors that I want to go see. And if I buy this paint, they say it's smooth and you don't need to add a lot of solvent. You don't need to thin it. It's got a great different texture. And then I struggle with it when I'm painting. I don't need that on top of unpacking my easel and getting everything out. And plein air painting is seriously like a contact sport. Now, some of you will laugh and be like, oh, no, it's not. It is heavy. It's physically challenging. I've been lifting weights and working out on the treadmill and trying to get in better shape for this, and stronger to be able to do this, because it is not an easy thing to do. And the older you get, it gets a little more difficult. So I'm feeling pretty good though. I can lug all this stuff. It's just by day 3, which brings me to remember your Tylenol or your Tramadol or whatever you take for your pain. So I've got to add that to my list. So I've got that. Let's see. I'm going to bring my limited palettes of oils, gouaches, and watercolors. I'm going to bring a palette knife to scrape with for the oil paint. Brushes, obviously. And I just ordered this new set from Arches. Oh, I took it out. No, this was the empty one. I have a whole black case full of new brushes for my watercolors. So that's great. And it comes in the carry case. I've got a bunch of these little carry cases that I've ordered off of Amazon, where I'm going to separate out like my pens and my pencils and my sharpeners and things needed for watercolor. Okay, so brushes, a hat. A floppy hat is a must. And I went on a trip to Vermont last year in New Hampshire, and I bought a great Stetson hat that I'm going to either pack or wear. I don't want to smash it. Whenever I pack my hats, I smash the heck out of them. So I might just be walking through the airport with my Stetson hat, which I don't usually wear unless I'm painting. So it's a whole different vibe than I'm used to. Pencils, a viewfinder, which is out in with all my oil paints, a camera. So I'm going to bring my smallest. I have my iPhone, but I also like to bring a backup camera. Backup cameras, and my iPhone is pretty good. The camera's pretty good on the iPhone. The camera's better on the one that my husband bought me for Christmas. That is like it's a really good digital camera just with great landscape settings. So I am going to bring that. That way too, if you lose your iPhone, God forbid, well, they would be on the cloud, but I bring both and I take pictures on both. So and then a wet panel carrier. I'm debating on bringing the wet panel carrier since I'm going all the way across the country and I'm connecting through San Francisco, and I don't want to lug these bags. I'm doing one carry-on and one checked bag. I want to take as little as possible out there. So I'm hoping, what I don't want to do is not pack my wet panel carrier, which takes up some room, but I can also put panels in them, get there and have them not selling them at the convention, because I did look in Reno to see if they had like a great art store like a Blick, and they don't. And I don't want to drive to my old Blick in Sacramento, which is 3 hours away, 2 hours away, to go get a wet panel carrier, because I don't want to. That's a drive over the mountains that I don't want to do. They have a Michael's there, and they had an art store, but it looked tiny and I don't know if it's well stocked. So if you are traveling on a trip, take what you can. If you know you can get something, and don't take solvent. And if you know you can get something on the other end, then try not to take that with you if you don't have to. Sunglasses are a must. The things that I'm going to buy out there, I will pack my sunblock. I won't pack bug spray. I'll buy that there. I just don't like things that can spill in your bag packing them if I don't have to. I will get my paper towels when I get there at Rayleigh's or whatever grocery store is there, or Nugget. I will get my insect spray there, and I will get, if I want to wear gloves, I hate wearing gloves, but when I plein air paint, I do wear them because I'm super messy and I get stuff all over my hands and I'm not close to a sink. When I oil paint in my studio, I don't wear gloves because I'm next to a sink and I can wash my hands. So those are the 4 items that I'm gonna buy there. Bring sunglasses, bring extra sunglasses. I'm bringing my 2 pairs of glasses. I have a hard time seeing far away and close up, so I'm gonna bring my triple vision glasses for painting. And last thing, if you are an artist that is promoting their work, bring business cards. So I did go on late last night. I've been going through this list. I am a last minute kind of person. And if you're all painters, you're probably last minute people too. I ordered more business cards from Moo last night, and they told me they would be here Friday morning before 10:30. So I have business cards for our farm, Holland Spring Farm, where we're going to be having art workshops starting in 2026. And also cards with my art on one side and my information on the other side. I have found when I've been to conventions, and the last one, I don't remember having cards made, and everyone was exchanging their cards to keep in touch later. You'll meet people that you like. And so I got those made. I'm thinking about, if I do it before 2 o'clock, I may also get some made with a couple of my watercolors on them, because the one card that I got has a still life in oil, which is not at all like my watercolors. So I think I'm gonna maybe order a few, like 50 business cards with watercolors on them, so that when I meet watercolor friends, I can exchange them. One more thing that is really good to bring. I probably should bring this. I love this, my little holder for my iPhone. Oh, you know what? I'll bring a selfie stick or a stick that I can put my phone up on my easel and be able to do some taping. I forgot about that. Let me put that selfie stick. And then these are great. I ordered these in a lot of different sizes from Amazon. These are enormous. These are smaller, and these are very tiny. These are phenomenal when you're oil painting, not for gouache, not for watercolor, I don't think. I mean, you could use them for a few things, but these for oil painting, these huge Q-tips, I think they're called surgical swabs, are super helpful. So anyways, I am glad I was able to check in. I'm going to be running around the next couple of days, but I am going to check in from Reno and Tahoe and post some painting things. So if you're interested, check back. And thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.